Hello. I now have a chessboard. So I think where I left off last is I had gone and done the IV or whatever for the bone scan. So I went back, did the bone scan. It was like easy peasy. I think that one I almost fell asleep in the machine because it was just like didn't make much noise. The thing you're on doesn't move very much. Yeah, and after I think the nurse said that like everything looked good, so I was like, oh great. So my ticker's good, my bones are good, fabulous. So I went home after that, hung out for like I don't know, I think like 3 hours or something. And then I had to go back out to Troy Beaumont for the CT scan. So I showed up for I showed up for the CT scan, and they take me into this room where it's just women waiting in the room, and then this lady comes and she's like, "Are you supposed to be here this early?" And I'm like, "They told me to be here at 2:30." And she's like, "Well, your test is until 4." And in my head, I'm like getting pissed off because I've already had like a week of like just annoying meetings, tests. And I'm like, "Are you for real?" And she's like, "Well, let me go check with them and see what they say." And I'm thinking, well, yeah, you better be bringing me back this liquid to drink. So there's a group of ladies in the room. Nobody's talking. Everybody just seems very like I don't want to talk. Nobody's listening to like their sounds on their phone, so it wasn't disruptive or anything. So then they finally come back and they bring me 2 glasses of this liquid to drink, and the guy hands them to me, and he's like, "All right, drink this one by 3 o'clock, and then drink the other one by 3:30. Your test is scheduled between 3:30 and 4." So I don't know what the lady's problem was that originally came over and saw me. So I take the first thing of liquid and I start drinking it, and it's really not that bad at first. Like it just tastes like water with like a tiny taste of something else in it. Um, and so I finished the first one, and then a new lady comes in. Some of the old people that were in there, I mean, literally, it's kind of funny because they all are older than me, leave or go to their test. So then this older lady comes in, and then she gets 2 glasses too. And so when the like nurse left, they gave it to her. I like held my second one up, and I was like, "Cheers!" And she smiled, and didn't really say much or whatever. So then I'm like drinking the second one, and I don't know why me and the older lady started talking, but we started talking about something, and then I mentioned that I was getting a chest port. She said she had one. She said it wasn't a big deal, and I was like, great to hear. So then, as we're sitting there, I'm trying to drink the second one. It's like start tasting disgusting. Like I'm just like it has a weird aftertaste, and I'm getting cotton mouth from it. So it's just like rough. So then this other lady comes in, and she was kind of little loony toony, I'm gonna say, and I don't know what she started talking about, but basically everybody that was in there for like a CT scan had cancer. It was so bizarre because I'm like, there's got to be other reasons for CT scans, or is that the only way insurance will cover them? Is if you have cancer? I don't know. So this other lady comes in, she says something, and I don't know, like I was like, oh, I've been wondering about that. I don't remember what it was. But then she starts like telling me all this stuff that like she's very open at sharing. She showed me her boob. Like literally was just like, here's my scar, and her like girl just like popped out. Which, I don't care to see it. I was just not expecting her to be like, here's my boob. So she showed me her scar, and she, oddly enough, has Dr. G, who is in the same place that Dr. A is in. So I was like, oh, interesting. We're in the same comprehensive care place. So she does tell me one piece of advice is that not to buy a post surgery bra because she said the hospital gives you one. So I have to check on that. Because like I have a decent sports bra that I use for my biopsies. That's fine. So I was planning on using that. But then she also was talking to me about hair loss a little bit, and then she was talking like about how she fasted the day before, day of, and day after chemo, and I'm like, you're crazy, lady. And because she didn't want to throw up, and I'm like, they give you nausea stuff, and she goes, oh, I didn't get that script filled, and I'm like, you didn't get the script filled, you dingbat, like. And they give you an IV and nausea stuff, and I keep hearing that the nausea is not a thing. So it's like I'm starting to think like, man, maybe I just lucked out and got really good doctors or something. I don't know. And this lady was stage 1 that I was talking to too. So, again, I don't know. So then it's like, it gets to the point where it's like, honestly, I don't even want to talk to her anymore. So thankfully, I got called for the CT scan. So I go back the CT scan, and I didn't realize they were going to inject me with dye too, but they did. So I got another IV in the same arm, and it's like poor left arm, and they didn't give me the dye yet. They just put the IV in. So I go back to CT scan, and then they're like tell me the whole spiel about like when the dye goes in, it's gonna get really hot and you're gonna feel like you peed your pants. And I'm like, oh yeah, that video did kind of show the peeing the pants thing, and I was like, that's interesting. So the CT machine starts, and then the dye goes in, and it get really hot, and then literally you do feel like you peed your pants. It's very interesting. But yeah, that was a CT scan. I had my results back for that like within like an hour, 2 hours. It's so bizarre how fast you get these results when you have something like cancer that you have to start chemo treatment. But basically, my CT scan showed like just showed my spondylolysis again, which had been there forever. It did have like I had two lesions. I think that's the word on my ribs, but they said that showed up in a chest X-ray in 2022. I literally had to go digging to figure out why did I get a chest X-ray in 2022, and it was because I got really sick and I'd been coughing a lot. And it was right like around the time that I had to put down my last dog, and so I had just been like a wreck, and my immune system was like totally compromised, and I ended up picking a cold up. I think honestly for my sister, and I remember coughing so hard now that I felt like I bruised my ribs. So that can't be a big deal because in 2022 they didn't care. And that was pretty much it. Like there didn't seem to be anything crazy in the CT scan. Oh, it did say there was like some tiny spots in my kidney, but they said that that was most likely cyst, which I think those are no big deal. So hopefully they are, because I don't want to go do anything else. But the one thing that did happen, let me rewind a little bit back to when I was at the CT. I get a call from my surgeon that my MRI with contrast friggin' picked up another tumor or mass. I don't know. I'm not sure if they like actually clarified it, but from what I understood, because the MRI found it, and it's like underneath in on the left side, I think, or something. So I don't know if it was just hidden and the ma'am and the ultrasound couldn't find it, but they want to biopsy that, but it's got to be an MRI biopsy. And at this point, I'm just like, I'm already doing chemo. We're already going to do surgery. Like, yeah, they need to mark it so it can be taken out with surgery. But now I'm like, should I just get rid of the whole boob now? Because I do not want to go do an MRI biopsy, because I haven't looked it up. The lady said that it's different because you have to use metal for the biopsy. I think this is what she said, but you can't put metal in the MRI machine. So I'm like, don't stress me out about this. And then also, I'm assuming my chest port is not metal, but I don't know. So we'll find out. I haven't heard anything. No one's called me to schedule anything, so I'm kind of hoping they just let it go and I don't get scheduled. Because at this point, I'm done with tests. I'm starting chemo next Thursday. Like, no, we're done. We hit the window. Um, so that was that. So yesterday was chessport. So Melissa picked me up at 5:30 in the morning. It was so early. I was so tired. I was up at 4:30 though, of course. And all I just wanted was coffee. It is so hard when you drink coffee like I do to not have any. So by the time we got out to Grosse Pointe, to the hospital, which was super cute by the way. So they told me it was cute. It was really cute. I had the worst headache just from like caffeine withdrawal, and I'm also like, oh my god, if there's ever like an apocalyptic situation, I need a bag of coffee grinds to at least chew them, because I'm gonna be a miserable person. So we get there, whatever, and they end up taking me back, and my nurse's name was Alex. He was really cool, very nice. Actually, everybody there was super cool and super nice. So he takes me back, and he's like, oh, take off top up basically, and I'm like, I can leave my sweatpants on, and he's like, oh no, sorry, you gotta take sweatpants, but you can leave your underbookins on. He didn't say that. That's the word I use. And then he's like, and you can like keep your socks unless you want to use our socks. And I don't know if anybody knows this, like hospital socks come in like all these cool colors. So at first I was like, ooh, because I have a bright pair of yellow ones from when I had my vulva surgery. But these were like brown. And so I was like, I'm going to keep my socks on. So then they bring Melissa back, and, another nurse comes in, a nurse that's going to be assisting comes in, and they explain to me that I'm going to be awake during this procedure. And I totally thought I was going to be put under like I was for my vulva surgery. I guess I don't understand the differences when they're talking about sedations, but yeah. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be awake. Like, yes, numbed up and everything and not feeling anything. And they said they were gonna give me a sedation thing that I just wouldn't care. So I'm like, great. So then when it gets time to go back, it's so bizarre to get wheeled into the surgery room. Like, I know people that have had C sections, all you women out there, you've done this. I never have. So it was so bizarre to me. And then it's like they start playing classic rock. Tom Petty was like the first song. And I was like, they really play music in here? I thought that was just on television. And I was like, well, this is kind of cool. But then I started like thinking about the fact that like I'm getting surgery right now. And like, I don't know, just my mind was spinning. So like tears start coming down my face. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So then they put the like nose thing in so I can breathe oxygen. And they're putting on all the like blue surgical covers or whatever they are, tablecloths, is so like basically covering my face so I'm not gonna see anything and da da da. And I started like coughing because the antiseptic or whatever they were using was so strong. It was like making me like dry cough, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just have like dry cough, frog in your throat." And they're like, "It's not an allergic reaction, is it?" And I'm like, "No, it's this antiseptic." Or I don't think I know if I'm saying the right word. But I'm like, it is so strong. And they're like, oh, it'll dissipate soon. Just hang in there. And I'm like, okay, cool. So then they give me the sedation thing, which I found out later was fentanyl. And I just remember at some point, like, I just really didn't care. And I did feel the shot when they gave me the numbing shot to put through this hole, which is the one that's by my jugular. That one I think actually hurts the most. And I felt the shot, but then like from there on out, I did not really feel any of the procedure. Like no tugging, no nothing. Like I was aware when they put the chest port in because of something they said, but like other than that, I did not feel any movement or nothing, which was great. And at one point, oh, that song, oh, stop, hey, what's that sound? That song started playing, and they were talking, like the doctor was talking to like the person assisting him and everything. So I'm like, have you guys seen the Muppet version of this? And he's like, no. He's like, I've only known of it as like a Vietnam song. And I'm like, oh, you have to watch the Muppet version of this. And then there was like something else that he said where he was like, oh, they're too young to know that. And I was like, oh, he goes, I'm old. Then I go, I'm older than you. And then I was like, they're all babies or something. That's all I remember. But I was like lucid the entire time. Like I knew what was going on. I just, whatever. And it was funny. I don't know if it was my mom I was talking to. She was like, you talked to them during your surgery? Or I don't know who that was I talked to. Maybe, oh, it was my sister. And she just started laughing. And I'm like, well, they were talking too. So why not? So yeah, so then I got out of there, and then I can just say, I do not understand why people want to do fentanyl. Like, I get it, just like you don't think of anything and you're like, whatever. But that was like a horrible feeling. And I smoke pot. So it's like, I know what it's like to be high. I don't mind that. But like, this was insane. So like, we decide that we're going to go get breakfast at this place called Jagged Fork, which Alex, the nurse, he said that him and his wife go there all the time. So I was like, perfect. So we go there, and I ordered like this, like their classic breakfast or something. So I ended up with like eggs, fruit, a little side of pancakes, and bacon, I think it was, and mouth that. Like I left the pancakes and I have those. I'm gonna warm them up in a second for breakfast, but I was so hungry, and then I started feeling better, like more lucid and everything like that. And then it's funny, we get in the car for Melissa to drive me home, And I'm like, oh, I feel drugged up again. And so I just could not wait to get home and go to take like a nap or whatever. So as we're leaving, I text Mr. Ted, who had come over to watch. This is Boofy Boof over here because I couldn't take him to daycare that early. And I'm like, hey, on my way back, you can take off. I'll see you tomorrow because today he's going to help me take Five to the groomer and go to Meyer to get some groceries, which I'm glad because I could not do that on myself. And also, I think I saw in my thing it says I can't drive for 48 hours, which I'm still in that window. So I text him, nothing. The whole drive back, nothing. And so I'm like saying to Melissa as we're like driving, I'm like, it's weird. Ted doesn't text me back. So we pull in the driveway and his Jeep is still here. And I go, oh, if Mr. Ted passed or is dead, you're going to have to come help me. And she just starts laughing and she's like, what are we going to do? Go like bury the body or something? And I started laughing. And then I'm like, oh, my jugular, my jugular. That hurts so bad yesterday. So then I get in the house. Five's at the door greeting me like kind of weird, like shaking his tail a tiny bit. And I'm like, Ted. And like, no, nothing. And Ted also, he has hearing aids. And the TV was up kind of loud. So I'm like, he didn't hear me? Like, what? So then I like walk over to the kitchen. And then all of a sudden, Five throws up on my shoes. So I'm like, great. Thanks for welcoming me back. So then I'm like cleaning up his puke. And I'm like, Ted. So then Ted gets up, not for Ted to come clean up the puke, but I'm just like trying to wait. Like, where are you? So then he comes out and he's like, oh, sorry, I fell asleep. I'm like, well, I just got welcomed home with throw up, so great. So then Ted took off. I spent the rest of the day pretty much napping. And I was fine. Like I could lay on this side of my body and everything, no issues. I was really only just noticing like the tape that's around everything pulling. But then, oh my God, the fentanyl wore off at some point, and whew, I was like, okay, this is no fun. So then I took Tylenol, and that helped. But it hurt, man, and so I was pretty like just sat on the couch for the rest of the day, watched some TV, talked to some people, gave them updates, and then like last night when I went to bed, it was really difficult to like scoot into bed properly. I don't know. It's because it's like everything was like way more sore, and and so I woke up in the middle of the night in pain, and so I had to get up and get some Tylenol because it hurt pretty bad. And then this morning, I was a little stressed out about showering. The pain wasn't so bad this morning, so I don't know if the Tylenol was still in my system and it hadn't worn off yet. I'm not risking it wearing off, so I already popped some more Tylenol. But I was afraid to shower because it was like, well, dang it, I gotta like cover all this stuff up with saran wrap. And so like this thing is like a like tape or something. And I'm horrified to pull it off because pulling that stuff off just makes me like gross. And then I have a big thing where my port is. So I did call the hospital this morning because I wanted to one make sure that this tape stuff, like, am I supposed to pull it off now? Can I leave it on for 48 hours because I'm kind of grossed out? And then because like I really was not paying attention that well when they discharged me. So they called me back pretty quickly. Very nice. They said that after 48 hours, I should pull it off, but I can leave both of the bandages as they are for 48 hours. So that's good because I don't even want to touch that other one. So tomorrow, I'm going to have to pull them off, and I just know it's going to be rough. I probably won't, I'm going to have to sit down to do it because I could see myself getting lightheaded. Um, but yeah, so then I ended up like, wasn't going to shower and was just going to do like a baby wipe hobo bath this morning. But then I was like, no, I need to shower. I feel gross. So I got the saran wrap out and the medical tape and looked ridiculous by the time I was done covering everything up because it's like such a wide area. I had to go like under my armpit all the way over here. And then like my shower, I like barely even showered. I just got in and like backwards basically, and then like hobo bath this one armpit because I was like, there's no way I can like use soap and clean this. And yeah. So yeah. So now I'm not doing anything Saturday, Sunday. I'm just gonna be lazy and lay around the house. Yeah, because I just want everything to be healed and not sore. I think that a lot of it is just the tape pulling, because I remember when I got the biopsies that before I pulled the big bandage off, it would like hurt a little more, and then I took the bandage off and I was like, oh, this feels better. So once I take it off, I think it will feel better. But like right now, I'm just not ready to look at the skin pocket, honestly, because they already told me that the port is gonna stick out because of I'm skinny and I'm grossed out by that. They did show me the port though, and it was pretty cool. I mean, it's just like this little silver thing that's like, I don't know, probably about like that big, and then it goes like and like I described it to my mom as a volcano, and like if you cut the top off of the volcano, why can't I say that word? It's like flat, and there's a hard gel, and that's where they bloop put the needle in through your skin, and then the gel seals back up after they pull the needle back out. So it was really cool looking. The video I watched that showed me what the skin pocket was originally, it had to have been done like when they first developed these things, because it was much bigger, the device, and so this was a lot smaller. But I like kind of put my hand over the bandage to try to figure out where it is, and I can't right now because I'm too afraid to like push down because everything is very sore. So I'll see it tomorrow when I take it off, but it's gonna be a bump permanently, and so I'm a little like, if I wear a shirt that's like kind of tighter fitting, I think I'm gonna see the bump, honestly, because at one, I don't know why I keep saying honestly either, but like one point last night, I swear I could see the bump under the shirt I was wearing. So I don't know. But so at least I'm through that. I have the port now, so now I don't have to get jabbed anymore. So yeah, so still hanging in there. I hate this stuff, man. Cancer sucks. Bye.